Welcome everyone to Overpowered, a Farming Simulator 19 gameplay by Service Farm. This episode, many new starts with keeping, tossing and getting equipment, introducing our farmer, getting started on our fields, getting to know our farm and lands. Let's dive right in and see how our farmer is doing and what else he encountered today. I moved the hunting hut from over at the lake to over here. First, a quick recap on the map. I'm playing on Alien Chim's Old Man's Land that I changed a little bit. We've got one old field, a bale shed with some bales in them. We're probably going to be selling them because we can't afford animals in the first year. Wood chipping and selling point. We have our vehicle workshop on the farm with the working area out here, very equipped. We've got an old silo, an old broken down watermill, equipment shed, farmhouse with an outhouse, and a lot of flies. Very tasty. And the farmhouse, I wouldn't call it a house, it's some rudimentary accommodations. The settings that I'm playing with, I'm going to be playing with timescale 5 or 10. Normal economic difficulty, automatic engine start off, fuel usage default, and all helper turned off, periodic plowing requirement, lime, crop destruction, weeds turned on. Season settings, I'm staying with the European units. Season's length of 3 days, so 12 days a year, taking down a little bit the crop damage and the weed intensity. Looking at the tractor, repairing it, getting it up to snuff again, and having a look at the customizations. We actually have the wide tires available, standard tires available, narrow tires available. We don't have the twin tires or all twin wheels available, but we can put the standard and narrows on the back. It has the large engine in it, as well as the front loader attachment, so it's actually nicely tricked out. We just leave it as where it is right now. Getting our pickup up to snuff. It's an older pickup, it's not a lot of value, so we're not going to be selling it. This is a nice little nifty trailer. You can get up to 12,000 liters capacity in it, as well as bale loading. This we can also use for logs transportation. We're going to be selling our plow and our cultivator simply because they only have a relatively narrow working width and I have a better option for doing the same job. I'm also going to be selling the harvester and the header simply because we don't need it right now and I want to go with a different option there as well. As for the replacement of the plow, I'm going with this subsoiler here. Can be used instead of a plow. Also, this particular subsoiler actually comes with additional combinations available, which is the power harrow and a seeder. What this allows us to do is actually going for a 4-meter wide combination workflow of subsoiling, so plowing, cultivating with the power harrow, and seeding. The only drawback there is we will need a tractor with about 330 horsepower, so that is quite a bit more than what we have right now. This subsoiler has one disadvantage, and this is that it can't create fields. Realistically, if you have a subsoiler that can be used as a plow, you should be able to create fields. What I did to do there to correct for this is I installed a mod that takes existing subsoilers, allows them to be used to create fields. So I'm going to be using a second subsoiler to create fields. Some more equipment that I'm getting is a front loader and a log fork attachment. Let's go ahead and get our merchandise picked up. There it all sits. Now let's get back to the farm. And let's get started with working this field. Like I said, I'm using the subsoiler to actually plow everything down, and this is the normal subsoiler. The modded version for creating fields, I took the yellow one simply because of its different color, so that I actually can differentiate between the two. In the full version of this gameplay, there is going to be quite a bit of backstory for the farmer, as well as other trivia in there. I'm not going to be including them in the condensed version. So let's get this field finished up with what it was. Next step is to actually widen that field and extend the field, simply because we have to make use of the land that we have. Next is creating a field. So we have one big parcel of the land available here. And you can see here roads, old roads that are in the landscape. I'm not going to be moving the roads, simply because how the landscape is typically in Europe is you have not that straight of roads. I'm staying with the spirit of the land and where it is, and to keep the roads as curvy as they are. Getting this field in here simply because it's early spring, we need to get our seed in. I want to do these two fields, the old one and this new one here, with canola. So I want to get the seed into the ground as early as possible. We also need to create another field on the other side of the road, right up there. I want to put in soy. I'm doing this at the moment because both those crops are not actually giving us straw that we don't need to deal with in our first harvest. When we are doing straw, then I also want to use the straw and use it to generate money out of it. Now there's this one tree standing here in this field. I did go around it for now, simply because I want to see if I have enough time to deal with the tree right away, or if I'm going to be doing this after it's planted. Let's get the equipment to actually plant trees, cut down trees, and get rid of the tree stumps. And while we're at it, we have room on the tractor. Let's get a bale fork to actually get our bales taken care of, as well as the soil sampler. I'm playing with precision farming turned on, so we want to be able to actually sample the soil. Oops, missed it. Actually going to modify the trailer here, buying the full extensions here that we can haul 12,000 liters. Modifying it to the bale configuration, you will see in just a second. Let's cut down this tree. And let's get it loaded on the trailer and just tie it down. Getting rid of the stump and doing the subsoiling. We have time, it's just 2:30, 14:30. Let's get seeding. This is actually a nice nifty seeder because it's a drill seeder, so you don't need to cultivate after plowing for this seeder. It also holds solid fertilizer, so it actually does 3 working steps for you at once: cultivating, seeding, and fertilizing. So this is definitely a nifty little tool. Doesn't take a lot of horsepower. That's why I kept this one around, because it's just absolutely gorgeous for what we need for the first couple of years, definitely. Perhaps even 3 years. We will see. Okay, finishing off this field and over to the second field. We are still looking good in the time. I'm not too concerned with these stones being too close to the field. I'm trying to not use that many helpers at the beginning, and once I get to a stage that I'm using helpers, I expect the equipment to actually be big enough so that one path around those stones makes enough clearance that AI helpers actually can deal with it. I actually want to make use of the land, of the area that we have, so that's why I did go close to the stones, to the rocks. It's just 4 o'clock, it's early spring, so the day is not going to be this long. So let's get this finished and see how much time we have left. We have done what we set out to do. We have our farmer, we have our farm, we have an overlook of the farm. We did sort out the equipment and we got our fields done. We have a little bit of time left, so let's go and get our soil samples in. Three samples takes care of this field. Let's see how we do here. 2, 3, and 4. 4 samples brings this in. Let's get them off to our analyzers. And we have a little bit time left, and it's early spring, so that is high season for sunflower seed. So let's get the sunflower seed down to the shop and sell the one that we have in our old silo. And let's make some cash. Yes, I was just checking that prices are stable. So there you go. Over $200,000 euros. I'm always saying dollars. So used to dollars. It's euros in the Eurozone. So $16,863. There you go again. Euros from our old silo. So let's get back to the farm and see where we're standing with the time. Yes, daytime is over. You can see the lights are turned on, which means the daytime is over. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the full episode with all the details in it, the link is coming up on your screen right now, as well as a link to the playlist for all the condensed versions. Thanks.